And we are back with the final round of top eight, aka the final round until you can get into the invitational. Right now we have let me actually tell them to start. If you want to kind of explain their teams a bit.
Okay, we got Zanzibar and JoeUX9. JoeUX9 coming with the same team he used NAIC recently with his very good finish. We see the Groudon, Rayquaza, Incineroar, Tapu Koko with the Crobat and the Ferrothorn against Zanzibar's Xerneas and the Groudon with Kangaskhan, Tornadus, Komodo, and Mawile. And they're jumping right into the game. We see the Kangaskhan Tornadus lead from Zanzibar against the Crobat Tapu Koko lead this very interesting spot. We see the fake out go directly into Tapu Koko there, preventing it from doing anything. And the taunt onto as it goes for the tailwind, preventing that. That was a very good read from Zanzibar, or maybe a misplay from Joe on that. Not really just the straight out taunt fake out play.
Right. We now see the Tornadoes go for a tailwind as the Crobat switches out into Groudon, and now the Crobat comes back in where it's going to immediately die to a double edge. Now we have both Mons on the side of the field where both of them have kind of just died and are out right now. But now we have a Rayquaza with airlock, so that means that that fire moves don't do as much damage because of airlock. But even though that won't really matter that much because these Mons, they don't really apply pressure with fire moves against this team. They only really apply pressure with like water moves. Or not water moves, but ground moves.
Yeah.
So
okay, we see the protect on both Groudons as double edge goes into the Rayquaza, not picking up the KO, but getting it as Rayquaza goes for an Earth Power onto the Groudon. Effectively, there's 2 turns of Tailwind left. Groudon can't protect on Joe's side, and what's in the back is Tapu. Nothing on Joe's side wants to take an Earth Power from that Groudon.
Right.
We see Earth Power,
and we actually see Joe's Groudon. Oh, that's a forfeit. Okay. We see Joe's Groudon go down, and then we see, Mons in the back just kind of die.
And, we do know here, good information, that combination of, what was it? Recoil from double edge and twice, as well as the E-speed was enough to take the Kangaskhan. Joe might be able to use this in the next game. But we do see effectively the same beginning, with same leads and the same moves, the fake out into the Tapu Koko and the taunt into Crobat, preventing the tailwind.
Right. A little bit of fun fact about Joe's team. This is actually his team that got day 2 with at Nats, which is kind of interesting. That he decided to use it, and it's actually gotten him this far in the tournament. But yeah, now the Incineroar actually comes in while the Tornadus goes for a tailwind, but it is gonna die to a Volt Switch, and the Crobat's also gonna come in.
Oh, crit double edge, and it goes down, negating attack drop from the Intimidate. But again, this does mean that Zanzibar can bring in his Groudon for little to no consequences at all.
Right.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see the protect here again, like last turn. Try to make sure it doesn't get faked out. But the thing here is that Groudon can't really touch Rayquaza in the current state. It has fire moves and ground moves, neither of which are going to do too much damage to Rayquaza. Ground moves doing none at all.
Right, but the thing is, like,
go for an Earth.
He could also have like Xerneas in the back, and also there's he has 2 Mons on the right side of Rayquaza that don't really take any good ground moves from Xerneas, or not from Xerneas, from Groudon. So the question is like, how does this all play out? But we do see an Earth Power onto protecting Groudon, and we also see a fake out onto Kangaskhan, trying to predict that he would just kind of let his Groudon go down, but Zanzibar just being like nope, and doing that. But now his Groudon's like even in a better position than what it was.
And doesn't even go for the Earth Power, and we just see the Xerneas with 2 turns of Tailwind left as it takes an Earth Power from the Rayquaza, and Kangaskhan gets hit by a U-turn as Tapu Koko comes.
Right.
This is definitely even though it is in Tailwind at Kujio, not necessarily for free, but for pretty minimal consequences, we do see Extreme Speed pick up Kangaskhan. Moonblast gets the KO on Tapu Koko, and right there is very problematic for Joe. However, with the Tailwind gone, Rayquaza does outspeed everything else on the, and it gets the Earth Power, one-hit KOing, and this definitely puts Xerneas in a very rough spot as it dies to Dragon Ascent, and that's game 2.
Right.
Go right on to game.
Okay. Yeah, game 2 that wait, who won? Joe won? Okay. The game 2 that crit definitely mattered on Kangaskhan, where he like crit the double edge, because if he Joe would have been in a better position than he was if he decided not to do that. Realistically, now we might actually see the same play as all the time. But yeah, he goes for a fake out, it doesn't work. Goes for a taunt. He might actually go for a super fang, which he does, which actually puts Joe in a really good position right now, because all he has to do is just switch an instant like he does, and now he's going to go for a Volt Switch on the Kang.
Incineroar switch, and the Volt Switch on the Tornadus, taking out like it did the first 2 games, critically not mattering as it KO'd them both games.
Right.
And the crit on the double edge again, hitting the... We do see it gets down in that red, but it does not proc a berry, which does hint towards the Z.
Right, but the thing is now, like, Kangaskhan, he can't Oko Crobat without critting, and he also gets up a Tailwind right now. So now the Crobat's in a super good spot right now, just because it's fast on both of those things on the field. And he does go for the taunt while the Groudon goes for Eruption. And the most likely his Rayquaza and probably his Groudon. No, it's actually Tapu Koko that comes in. Wow, that's actually pretty interesting. So now
okay, so
the Tapu Koko is actually going to go for a Dazzling Gleam, and the Rayquaza is going to go for a Dragon Stone on Xerneas, which is actually like a good play. And yeah.
Yep. Xerneas goes down, and Groudon, I mean, it's doing a decent amount to Rayquaza, but it's not going to want to take an Earth Power. So even the Z move going into the Groudon, protecting, doing little to no damage. But even without the Tailwind up, that'll be Earth Power taking the KO on Groudon.
Right.
And finishing this very fast set between Joe and Zanzibar, giving Joe the victory in a very fast.
And finally, this concludes top 8, which also concludes our stream. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll try to stream the Invitational. Slim, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to all the players. I know the circuit, it's been a while. It's been pretty much going on as long as the whole entire actual circuit's been going on. And I appreciate a lot of people sticking with the patience throughout the ups and downs of the circuit. And congrats to the 4 that made it. And so what we're going to do is we're going to have the play-in, of course, between the 4 that won today. And those guys will be entered into the single elimination top 16 bracket. I'll get in touch with everybody. Stay tuned to Twitter. We'll make an announcement of when the date's going to be. And we're going to definitely try to stream all of those if we can. Most likely we won't for top 16. But top 8, we'll definitely find a day or a weekend, and we'll do all the matches so that way we can have a nice conclusion. And whoever the winner is, granted, hopefully they're going to Worlds. You will be met there with your prize of a Switch bundle via Mount Silver. So just want to thank everybody, and stay tuned.
Yeah, thanks guys.